Hey everyone, today we're launching a brand new series, This Week in Maritime History, where we explore fascinating and pivotal naval events that happened this week in history. If you love ships, shipwrecks, and the stories behind them, you're in the right place. And if you have an event you'd like us to cover, drop a comment below or email us at comments@ShipIndex.org. Let's dive in. On March 3, 1859, the USS Saginaw was launched, the first U.S. naval ship ever built on the West Coast. Originally named Tusi, she was renamed a few months later and set sail from San Francisco in 1860. Saginaw served in the Western Pacific, sailing to China and Japan, before returning to the U.S. during the Civil War. Later, in the late 1860s, she helped chart the Alaskan coast after the U.S. purchased Alaska from Russia. But in 1870, she was lost near Kure Atoll while searching for shipwrecked sailors. Her entire crew made it to the atoll, but a small group set off for Honolulu in a tiny boat to get help. Only one sailor survived the journey, but the rest of the crew was eventually rescued in January 1871. The wreck of the Saginaw wasn't found until 2003. Moving forward in time, on March 6, 1987, the Herald of Free Enterprise disaster took place. This was a ro-ro ferry that had just left Zeebrugge, Belgium, when it capsized within minutes. Investigators found that the car deck doors had been left open, allowing seawater to flood in. Out of 539 people on board, 193 lost their lives. The tragedy led to major safety changes in ferry operations, particularly in ensuring that car deck doors were properly secured before departure. Now, let's go back to the Battle of Hampton Roads, which took place on March 8 to 9, 1862. This was a turning point in naval history, the first battle between two ironclad warships. Before the battle, the Confederacy had taken the burned hull of the USS Merrimack and converted it into an ironclad, now called CSS Virginia. On March 8th, Virginia rammed and sank USS Cumberland, then forced USS Congress to surrender. The Union fleet was completely unprepared for this kind of ship. But overnight, the Union's own ironclad, USS Monitor, arrived. On March 9th, Monitor and Virginia engaged in battle, but neither ship could gain the upper hand. The fight ended in a stalemate, but it marked the end of the era of wooden warships. From this point forward, ironclad ships would dominate naval warfare. After the battle, Virginia remained blockaded at Hampton Roads, eventually forcing the Confederates to scuttle her in May 1862 to prevent her from falling into Union hands. As for Monitor, she was sent to join the blockade at Charleston later that year, but sank in a storm off Cape Hatteras in December, taking 16 sailors with her. Monitor's wreck was discovered in 1973, and since then various parts of the ship, including its gun turret, have been recovered and are now on display at the USS Monitor Center in Newport News, Virginia. And that wraps up this week's maritime history. Which of these stories did you find the most interesting? Let us know in the comments. If you love exploring the stories of ships in the sea, be sure to subscribe to ShipIndex.org and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. And don't forget, if there's a maritime event you think we should feature, let us know. Until next time, happy sailing.